Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Cardinal Cowboy gets to do fun things all over the universe, especially in my mind, right? But I mean, I tell you, sometimes there's fun events I get invited to, and I'm like, where is this place? I hadn't heard about this. My mom's like, it's right on the way to our place in Columbia, Missouri. It's actually like way closer. I looked it up. I'm like, well, that's a very short drive. And considering what we were going to, I'm like, man, I know people that like fly to Jamaica to do this stuff. And I felt like I was almost in Jamaica. It was a little cooler, but it was certainly an awesome event. Thank you for inviting me. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rick Matteson and his son Trent Matteson. This is the Your Little Castle show, but I want to share with you a little bit about our guests here. Central Park of Eolia Events and Weddings. You guys put on a heck of a program, a heck of a show, a heck of an event.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us out.
Well, okay, with that, before I get into too much, because I did this for a half hour at another show, Tom Calhoun, I thank you. Blues guy, Blues PA announcer. I forgot to get this out of the way because we're going to talk about you guys, so I'm going to get this out of the way. And Brooke, nothing against you, but man, we got to talk about our guests. You know what I'm doing here. Brooke, Carol House Furniture, because you like nice things. Where do you like nice things? Well, you like them in your little castle. And you guys created like a remote oasis. Let me say that right. Oasis that's only 40 minutes away from where I live and probably within an hour of everybody in St. Louis if you go the whole metro area, right? And it may be closer than that for most. True?
Yeah, that's about how far away it is, about an hour from St. Louis.
Yeah. And so I'm downtown in 25 minutes. I'm 20 minutes further the other way, but I'm not going there every day. I'm going there for a huge event, and it's an unbelievable place for that kind of an event. I mean, it's a farmland originally, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. We actually purchased it in November of last year. It was a big property that they auctioned off. We bought 191 acres of it.
191 acres. Yeah, there's an aerial picture we're going to show everybody here that will give you some overview of like, this is beautiful. So now you walk out, you're not surrounded by brick buildings that, we're downtown or wherever it may be, and that's cool, but I just feel like you're in touch with nature and heaven and everything else we got, but it's also got everything you need because you got 22 different private little stay suites there. How many?
We have 18 hotel rooms.
Okay.
And then we have a lodging for it, so you can use your hotel rooms and you can hang out in the lodging before or after the wedding, and it has a courtyard in it. And then we have a honeymoon suite that the bride and groom, they get their own little room down in the woods. So they check on that, and Trenton actually used it because he was our first one to get married there 2 weeks ago.
There it is. So just opened, and we put everything up about that we can about our guests, and we talk about reviews. And because it's just open, how many reviews? Actually, probably have about 200 reviews that are all 5-star based on the number of guests you had there for that first event, right? That I happen to be part of. And I'm going to give you a review right now. Let's knock that out. It's on my list of things to cover here. Amazing, awesome, incredible. And you didn't have to leave. And a lot of people know I don't drink hardly ever. Everyone wants to drink here. But if you do happen to partake in adult beverages, which is completely legal and fine, then you don't have to go but like 100 yards to go where you're going to go to sleep, right? For, I guess, 88 guests. So you have two double beds in each location. Is that right?
Yeah, probably about 40, probably. Well, no, it would be. We have double beds in the rooms, don't we?
Yeah, I saw 4 that could have slept in the room I was in. I was 4 in the room I was in, and that was nice and spaced out, and everything you need.
Yeah.
Yep.
And set up. So, well, let's talk a little bit. First, I'd like to get a little history for people, and tell me, Rick, why did you decide to get into this particular niche of the world? You've got a very successful M&H concrete. Mm-hmm. How long has M&H been around?
So M&H has been around since 1972. My dad started it when I was 5 years old. Okay. And then a few years ago, on our 50th anniversary, me and my sister purchased the company from him. So been in business my whole life, and we're trying to generate wealth for our entire family for generations. So we got the family together, and my sons and my nephews, we were all talking, and we decided that we'd build a wedding venue.
And just in time for a wedding, right? So
that's right.
You had you were that's how you do it, man. When you start your own business, you say, the first person's going to be my son's going to have his wedding here.
Yeah, very fortunate for that.
And so we've got a lot of pictures to share about that too. So as we dig in here, I'm very trying to be very systematic. You guys all might notice I'm reading the questions off my tablet here, which is fine. So what led you here? I mean, you talked a little bit about that, but I mean, this is a pretty big leap for some people. This is not a small little endeavor. You're not spending $50,000 to get this thing started.
Well, I've always been brought up in the business world. we had another business a few years back that was a big sports facility we owned for 20 years. And we got out of that. And when he decided to get married, he's like, hey, we got to drive to Peevely for my wedding. I'm like, I don't want to be driving to Peevely. So that's how we got talking about doing a wedding venue. So we decided that last November. In February we started it, and we were able to get done for it. In November 23rd was your wedding?
Yep. And we got finished November 23rd.
November 23rd. When was the wedding? Just in time?
We were still putting door handles and everything together the day of the wedding. So my now wife was a little trusting at the time, and we didn't think it was no big deal to build it until we got into it. It was a little more than we were thinking, but
well, everything worked out. I was there. I mean, you
yeah.
got the showers and hot water was fast.
The hot water, the bar was functional, so people were happy.
Yeah, I got to crash there and
Yeah.
hang out with you guys. A little local place that we went to hang out even after. It's just an all around. You like I asked you. You remember at the event, Rick? I asked you. I go, how did you get all of this stuff nailed down? And you're like, I just woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning many times and thought of another thing we might need to add.
Yeah, I wake up a lot in the middle of the night thinking about how we can improve things for people. So that's the most important thing. So we just worked hard, and I've always taught, believe in yourself and you will succeed.
Well, I tell you, that's how most of us who try to change the world do. I'm trying to change the world. I'm getting there. I'm hoping to do that. You've done so much to help. I mean, I saw that party, and it was a Christmas party, and I was like, holy manoli, this guy knows how to run a business that also takes care of employees. How important is that for what you're doing?
Well, we wouldn't be able to build a wedding venue or do anything without our employees. Our employees at our concrete company are absolutely the best around, we feel. The guys come out, they work hard for me every day, and we throw a big Christmas party, and we want to give back. So we give back a lot of things to our employees.
That's how you do it, right? I mean, I this isn't a. So you asked me. We were joking, I think, at some point. I said, "This is one of the best events I've ever been to." There's only one event that I can say might have been a little bit more crazy, but that was for the Anheuser-Busch party that had Hootie and the Blowfish playing. You had Foreplay playing. That was Sean. They're probably one of the best known in the Midwest region.
They're phenomenal.
I'm like Hootie and the Blowfish, Foreplay. I mean, this was. I mean, you just did it all. It was amazing.
Yeah, like I say, you got to take care of your employees, and I'm happy that we're able to do it. When we're giving all our prizes away, I'm excited to do that because then I see how excited our guys are. And it helps their families, and that's what we're about. We're about a family business, and we want everybody to succeed.
Keynote there, I told Rick I break out the pencil every once in a while. So as my slider continues on, we're doing the slider shot right now, and I've got a slider to expert. Now Cody has become my production assistant here recently. And we break out the pencil because the keynote for I wanted to take there is the fact that if most people, a lot of people aren't motivated by money, right? They're motivated by being treated well, by taking care of them, showing you care about them, by actually giving a hoot about who they are and what they do. And I could see that resonating throughout the entire night. People were just excited to be there. And then you were very smart about how you, throughout the night, said, here's some more things we're going to do to help motivate and incent our employees to stick around, man. We take care of you. It was really impressive, man. That's outside of the whole venue stuff we're talking about here. Let's get back into that. But this guy knows how to run a business, and that's why this whole place looks so well. He's bringing us. How long, Trent, have you been involved with your dad in business? And obviously you're helping launch this.
I've been back 2 years. So I went to college. I had a couple different jobs coming out of college. And then 2 years ago, they happened to buy it, and it was just a good time for me to kind of come and help out. So I've been very fortunate to get in a couple years ago.
Okay, yeah. I thought you'd been doing this for 15, 20 years. I can't tell how old you are because you could be 22, you could be 31. I don't know. But you look young.
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
And I say that to us guys, we don't care as much about age, but wisdom up here, some people don't get that until they're 80, right?
Yeah.
Looks like you've got a lot of it now at 24.
Wait, 22.
22.
No, I'm kidding. I'm 30.
Okay, all right.
I'm good at playing it off, though.
He's an actor, too. Anyway. But, I mean, that's amazing. This is exactly who we like to highlight on our show because of that. We want people to hear these things in a half-hour format, which is give people more time to understand what we're doing here on this little planet. But what about this fuels your passion? I mean, as it comes about what we're doing here, who wants to answer that question first? I need both of you to do it
I
because it comes
think
from two different perspectives.
Well, I think we kind of touched on it. We are big at, we're a family-owned company, so we want to give back to our employees and families and things, and that's one thing our concrete company is doing, I think. And then the event center is, hopefully it does a lot for the community in Eolia. It is a small community, but it seems like the community's very excited, and hopefully it extends into more Lincoln County and St. Charles County. Just another event space that's affordable and a great place for people to come and celebrate their special day.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately putting the hat on a little earlier because we hit on some good community stuff to begin with. That's why we put the cowboy down there. I can't sing too much. You get 8 seconds, I think, before you get in trouble on TV. You get on the internet, they can get you for anything. That's our copyrighted by whoever. But anyway, I can say cowboy, can I? All right. That, when you're doing the community stuff, which obviously this whole thing, any business is going to be surrounding something relative to the community, right? Mm-hmm. Or else you're not going to be in business too long.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how it should work. We got this whole internet thing. I wrote my master's thesis back in 1996, 97, and I talked about how the interwebs was going to change everything. Lucky guess, right? There are people talking about it. This thing's not going to last. It'll be a flash in the pan. I was like, you all don't know what's coming here. And now it's gotten to where AI, for you small business owners who think you don't need this because you're 100% word of mouth, you will be taken out by the guys who understand how to use AI and make it look like they're the little guy that can caveat to the small businesses. But Rick and Trent understand all of that, and I wanted to highlight them here on the show to talk about that. So we talked about how my personal review, and you're going to have a ton of reviews I can see coming in for this place. It's beautiful. It's magical. It's got chandeliers. I've got video. We shot all kinds of video. We're going to share some of that. I'm like, I felt like I was in the Taj Mahal, except the Taj Mahal in Eolia, which was cool because I had a little bit away. But I having to drive 4 or 5 or 6 or fly on a plane somewhere. I got to go 35, 45 minutes from where I live and then stay the night and get up and go back home. And I'm only 45 minutes from where I need to be to deal with all of my problems, right? And so we all have to do that. But what do you think is the one thing that really sets you guys apart if it comes down to it? Literally, I mean, like, there's things, of course, everybody's got something unique that they talk about. It's their niche or their caveat. What do you think it is that you guys bring to the table here for the world that really makes this place extraordinary for them?
I think that's your question.
Well, it is difficult to set ourselves apart. In St. Louis, it seems like there's a great market for weddings and event centers. Something we thought about it for a long time. Like I said, what could set us apart? We are 15 minutes north of Troy, so we're a little far out there. So instead of maybe just having an event center, we wanted so much more than that. So it's an event for the weekend and not just one night. So we did, like I said, we have the event center. We have the outdoor ceremony site. So if you wanted to get married outdoors, you can do that. We have a honeymoon suite as well. So at the end of the night, obviously the bride and groom have somewhere to stay. And then we also have, we touched on it, but we have 18 hotel rooms and a rec center that you can enjoy after the wedding. Friends and family can go over there, hang out, keep kind of the party going so it's not over at 10 or 11. And then everyone can stay on the property. It's much safer. No one has to find rides all the way out there. And then they can wake up again with their friends and family, eat breakfast, and kind of hang out and enjoy, some memories they made from the night before. So we're thinking of everything to, like I said, separate ourselves and make it just a great facility for any type of event or wedding.
And I guess the only thing I would compare, I'm going off the top of my head here, but I sometimes think clearly enough to do that, right? And that is, when I go to like a resort, it's an all-inclusive kind of thing. That's almost what this is like, except there's not 16 other parties there I'm sharing the venue with, and then they're going to their rooms, and I don't know who they are. It's just like their own little private thing, too. Everybody gets their own private resort within 35 minutes of St. Louis, St. Charles, and gets to now have exclusivity. Is that the right word? That's kind of what you get here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned the all-inclusive thing too, because so we do want people to basically show up and not have to be super stressed and get married. So we provide all the tables, the chairs. We will set it up. We'll provide event staff. We provide the bartenders, and then we also clean it up. We have decor we provide. So ideally, you basically show up, ready to get married, do your thing, and then pretty much just have a good time.
And Trenton's more on the aspect of everything you're here, and I'm more on the building part of it. But we just started our lake. Should be around a 6-acre lake that's going to be right in front of all the lodging. So there'll be wildlife around. We're going to build a dock on there so you can get married maybe near the water if you'd like. So we're doing a lot of different things like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is your opinion of all this? Trent's essentially kind of running this with, and we've got somebody else in the building. It's helping. Emma's here too. Put her on. We're going to do 2.5 hours. We used to do that standard, and we got so much used airtime we didn't have to do that. But we're going to make an exception here. We'll figure out how to make that work, but I can put it out there. But
we have Emma and Cody running it. Cody's running the camera
Cameras
right now.
wrote it. Coach, don't tell. I hired him. He's working for me now. All right? He can come back to you tomorrow. But he's doing a great job. Thank you, Cody. And it was interesting because I'm walking around. It's like some power from above puts me at the right place at the right time. There's 300 people. I don't know how many people were. How many people were at that event you had?
Was there 170? I think there was 175 or 180 people at our Christmas party.
And I don't go around trying to talk to everybody. Every once in a while, stop. How are you having fun? Give me a little something good about the event venue because I'm there to talk about that and learn about it. But I happened to walk over and I said, I'll talk to this guy. It was Cody. And he ends up being the guy who runs the thing. He lives on the property that's there, right?
Yep.
And his fiance, Emma, and they both run it together. I'm like, somebody lined this up for me. I don't know who it was, but anyway. But that's cool. So now we get to learn a little bit more about, they're going to talk about that side of it, or Emma, or we'll figure that out in a minute. But how cool is it for you guys to have almost, I don't know if you guys are family or not, I'm guessing not, but you kind of a family here. Even if you're not family, you're still family. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's real fair. What we want is the people that work for us, like Cody and Emma, I treat them like family because I believe my family. I've been around them enough. They're great people. And the people that are around me, that's who I want to work with, people that are family.
That's right, because the people that you can know and trust, how do I say this without getting my mom mad at me? But my dad had very little family. He had some of his family that came from his uncle who was like top guy, vice president at a big company and knew the owner of the Yankees and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then go on down the line, we know now different family kind of split off, but I end up, everybody goes a different direction. And I'm fortunate to be around some of those people, but I know other people that in my family, something happened, didn't go as well. They're struggling, whatever. We know that life is tough. But you also want to, so then you got to build, most of your best relationships come from people who are not related to you, right? Mm-hmm. But you really get to know them and trust them and build a business with them and change this little planet. Sounds like that's kind of been I'm preaching to the choir here, I know that, but what's it like having so much success with M&H and now can transfer into something you've developed here that's going to be another generation of influence?
Well, that's what we're hoping. In our concrete company with M&H, my 3 nephews work for me. Me and my sister own it. My 3 sons work for me. So we have a lot of family, and everybody's pretty tight-knit, and we're all going the same direction. And when we brought Cody and Emma on, we thought that was a good thing because I felt like they were family too, and that'd be a great move for us. So, and it's been fantastic. They've been here 2 months now. Mm-hmm. After they walked across America. It's been a great move for us.
Trent, you feel the same way?
Oh, yeah. I'm very fortunate. I mean, Cody was my best man at my wedding. Emma was in our wedding as well. And it worked out perfectly. He mentioned a little bit, but they took a hiatus from work and hiked from Mexico to Canada. So
okay,
it worked out good. So as soon as they got finished, they immediately kind of came back and helped us get the venue finished. And now they'll hopefully be a huge part of it. So I'm extremely happy with it.
Well, we've gone into this. We're 18 minutes in right now, almost 19 minutes. We got another 8 to cover, but I got a lot of pictures I want to share here.
Sure.
And then we got another set of questions that we can get into. I asked them they could even assign their questions if they want to. I've got a list of questions. Everybody gets their own set. We'll go through it. But Emma's going to come and talk about a number of things we've got here. But well, this is an important one. I think that most people like to hear from any business owner, if they'll be honest about it. It could be a mistake you've run into that you learn. I mean, there's nobody starts a business and hasn't had something go wrong, right? Nothing deliberate or intentional, but miscommunication usually, whatever, or just communicate. I got my master's in media communications. I'm like, my buddies are like, you're going to never make any money. I'm an accountant. I'm a lawyer. I'm like, well, I've always had a job because I figured out communication is so critical to, especially when you're pushing your message out to people. How do you do that? I can talk to you about I want you to use this video to make good for yourself. But when you're doing these types of things, what is the thing that is the biggest mistake that you see? You can talk about from a concrete perspective, because that helps even in a general sense with business, or that you've already seen, or you've seen other venues make, or mistakes you've learned from just your short time building a new event venue. Tell me something you guys think that has been a big lesson you've learned already from it.
Probably the biggest lesson I've learned in my life, and it goes along with this, is I try to walk around with my glass half full all the time. If a mistake happens, it's a mistake or it's a problem. You deal with it, you move on, and you don't dwell on it. A lot of people get upset or they start thinking in a negative direction. If you think negative, everything's going to go downhill. I think positive. I look for my end result, and along the way, there's bumps along the road. So you just deal with them and you move on. You don't get upset about it because if you can't change it, don't worry about it.
Okay, so we use baseball slang here periodically, and I don't know I've ever 150 shows, 150 different guests. That was a grand slam. You just mentioned right there, and because a lot of people don't understand this, and it's I'm old. I'm almost who's older? I'm the oldest guy in the room if you look at me, but I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as this gentleman here, and your son is obviously in the ranks are doing amazing stuff. Good training, good background. Those are fun things that are important for families and all that stuff we kind of forget about. But I can't tell you how many mistakes, especially when I was younger. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I was fortunate to have the training. Both my parents are educators, right? Dad's a college admissions counselor, mom's a teacher. And I was fortunate to have the training to understand you just keep plugging. You can do it. Confidence is so important, right? If you don't have confidence, you're not going to take on a challenge. If you take on a challenge and you don't have confidence that it doesn't work, then you quit because you don't have the confidence. Not overconfidence, but confidence. And how many times I had something go wrong, and by now I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to learn something cool from this. I'm excited. I'm like, that didn't go right. I'll fix it, and then I'll bounce off, and I know, and I talk about how, here's another one for you. How often is this the case? And this is getting into the world or whatever, but I talk about it. The smart, super smart guys, love you guys. You're awesome. You often end up very lazy because you're so smart, right? Have you seen that? And then you got the guys like us, most of us, who are just like, not the smartest, but pretty smart, whatever, smart enough, and we get it done because we just don't quit. And then we run into something and we go, that didn't work. But I will make 10 mistakes before the smart guy even started because he was too lazy, but he was so smart. Yep. How important is that for a business owner to understand when you're trying to start a business like this?
So it's very important. I listen to a lot of motivational things, and one of it is by Eddie Pinero. It's don't be afraid to be the fool, because you got to be the fool when you start something because you don't know anything and you have to learn through the process.
Yes.
So it's very important that I can jump into things that I've never done, and I'm not afraid of it because I know along the way, I believe in myself, I will learn and I will figure it out and I'll master it. Yep. And that's what all these guys have learned through. We race motorcycles and hockey and things like that, and they failed a lot and they just keep working and then they become champions. So you can't be afraid to start in the beginning and know nothing.
Trent, have you already experienced that? I
mean, every day I'm around him, yeah. No, I mean it's very important. Like you said, we do nothing about the event space or weddings, and we were confident that we can do it, and we made a ton of mistakes along the way that we learned from, and now we know if we do another one or we do something similar, we're that much better for it because we've already made that mistake.
And I'd say you haven't made too many mistakes based on what I saw. I didn't see anything. There was a
There's
couple things
lot.
that you didn't quite get to yet. I can tell that because you wanted to get up and running and kind of experience and whatever. But I mean, literally, I'm like, this place is exceptional. I'm not just saying that because if you ever see me on the show and I'm talking about, well, you're doing a really good job, right? And that's a good code for there's still some work to be done here. There's a couple things you need to fix. I didn't see anything you needed to fix. I mean, it was like, what did they do there? I mean, that's because you know how to do things, right? You've learned that over years.
There's things we need to finish, and what we did is, I'm not too proud to ask people, what their opinions are, and, I knew nothing about the wedding venue, and I would ask people about what do you like, what would you want, things like that, and we've taken a lot of other people's ideas and implemented them, and it worked really well for us.
Yeah, our family was huge into, like you said, implementing so many ideas. We bounced a ton of ideas off them, and they had some good ones, some bad ones. We had a lot of bad ones, and kind of fumbled through it, and he's got OCD pretty bad, I believe, so that's why it looks like it does, but
obsessive compulsive it sounds so bad, but
it does sound bad,
but it's really like you're just heck bent to get it done.
I don't think I'm that bad.
Well, more than now, but it was a headache building it.
Believe me, I know the type. I've been I learned I just have to be super nice. I got a couple of my friends, they get upset about something and they complain about it for hours. It's like you're wasting your energy.
Yep.
But you also have to be persistent. I mean, in my past, I was so not trying to be so nice, which is good generally, but that's how people walk on you sometimes too, right? But at the same time, I need this done. Ask them nice 3 times. And then if they don't do it nice, look, we need this done, right? This is how you have to
I use ask once, and then I go that direction.
Right.
Got some work to do.
Right. So I get it. But that's how we become successful and also bring a lot of people along with us who benefit from our venue that we've just created for everybody that now allows everybody to enjoy life, and among other things you do. All right, well, let's talk about, I got pictures on the wall here. I'm going to put this up. And so if you see behind me, there is the website. Did it well there also. So this is a beautiful looking website. You can do everything. You can even book from here. Is that true?
That's right.
I see the booking. So you click here.
Book there, book a tour. It's got a lot of great information on what we provide, and it's got our pricing on there. It's got some pictures. So yeah, everything you need, it's on our website.
That's all, yeah. So, and you kind of customize things. You got the gallery, and we're going to show a few of these pictures. There we go. Take a look at those. We put them up on our other wall here, so I'm going to switch over to that without missing a beat. So I'm over back to our wide shot, which we haven't used that as much this show. Sorry, everybody. But we're going to go here and show on the wall, there's that gallery, but let's switch over to our, picked out a few photos here and videos and a couple things we wanted. So there's your logo, banner, whatever you want to call it. And it was supposed to let me slide through these. There it is. There is an aerial shot. So you got a drone coming out there. Or did you fly in a helicopter?
I wish. No, that's a drone. That is, I want to say around August time frame during construction.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, beautiful. There's an aerial shot. That's just a small sample of the area. I guess, is that mostly your property or all of it? You get, how many?
Yeah, that's our property.
Yeah, that right over top of the building. Our property goes the other direction.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other side of the property is where the hotels and the rec center are.
Okay. And then here we've got some fun. Like, I saw this. I took a video of this when I walked in, and I didn't know what it was when I walked in. I found out you're a bit of a racer, if you will, right? What do you call that, motocross?
Well, it's called off-road racing. So we race through the woods instead of motocross. But we did both growing up. Okay. But it was our venue, so I thought it'd be a fun idea to surprise the wife. She wanted to just walk in, and I took her around the front. She saw the bike standing there or sitting there, so I told her hop on, and she no questions asked. She got on, and we actually surprised everyone because no one knew we were doing it.
So this wasn't just set up for a picture. You drove around with her on the.
Yeah, so we drove around the building. It was our introduction into the ceremony, but we drove around the building and then through it, and then we came out, and then we went through the front door.
All right. And, well, we've got just a couple minutes left here for our first half hour. Like I said, there's a picture out in front of the building, and then some more. There's the famous dip you do when you're about to get married, right? And so, with that, all right, everybody, that wraps up our time here for the first half hour. Get ready, Emma. Maybe Cody too. Learn a lot here, hopefully. Rick and his son Trent are willing to share about that. Also, use their venue, use their space. This is an amazing thing for people to use, and you don't have to fly to Jamaica to do it, right? So we'll be back. Get ready for that second half here coming in a minute. Giddy up.